What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today's episode, we are breaking down the main event for UFC 261, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2. We're going to tell you everything you need to know, give you all the betting odds, all that and much more coming your way right now! All right, Nick. Well, we have gone over the Valentina Shevchenko fight. We've gone over the Weili Zhang fight. And now we are here with the main event, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2. So we are taking a look at this fight. We're going to break it down. Tell us what we need to know about this fight and who you have winning.
Well, when you look back at the first fight, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal the first time, we learned a couple interesting things. And one that stood out was Kamaru Usman doesn't take any risks. He is not a champion who is going to put himself into the fire. He is a guy that very much sits back, waits for his moments, and then strikes. But he is not going to put himself in a situation that could leave himself in a spot where he may get knocked out, he may get submitted. And we saw that through the way he was training Francis Ngannou. And you look at Francis Ngannou was a completely different fighter, where he's a lot more composed and he is waiting for things to come to him instead of making them happen. That's all because of what Kamaru Usman has taught him. Kamaru Usman is the ultimate champion. He knows what it takes to get the job done, and he knows what it takes to lose the belt. He understands that if he makes one wrong move, it could be all over, and he relinquishes that belt to Jorge Masvidal. He's not going to let that happen. There is some bad blood between these two that has not been cleared up since the first fight. Jorge Masvidal wants to build in the excuse that he came in on short notice and that he didn't have a camp to train. Well, Kamaru Usman also has his reasons as to why he was the better athlete that night. This all gets settled now, and Jorge Masvidal has no more excuses. Kamaru Usman is not going to have any excuses. We are going to have a true victor at the end of this one. Jorge Masvidal got a good lesson as to what it takes to get past Kamaru Usman in the first fight. He knows how to brace himself up against the cage, to not let that work against him, to make sure that he keeps centered in the octagon, to make sure that he is not being taken down by Kamaru Usman because he is the inferior fighter to Usman on the ground. He needs to make sure that this is playing into his strengths and not his weaknesses. I think this is going to be an easier fight for Usman all around because it's the first fight back into a crowd. I think that a lot of people are going to be rooting against Usman. Jorge Masvidal is usually the favorite in any fight he's in, and it's in Jacksonville, not too far away from Miami. So I think that he's going to be the hometown favorite. I think that Kamaru Usman loves to work with the pressure against him. I think that's when we've seen him perform the best. And I think that he's going to continue to show us why he is the greatest welterweight of all time by beating Jorge Masvidal for a second time.
Wow. A lot to unpack there, but let's get to the tail of the tape. Jorge Masvidal coming in as the number 4 contender for the belt, standing at 5'11" with a 74-inch reach and 30.5-inch leg reach. Then we have Kamaru Usman, who comes in standing at 6 feet tall, 76-inch reach, and a 41-inch leg reach. So he does have the upper hand when it comes to height, his arm reach, and his leg reach. Taking a look at these fighters, obviously Kamaru Usman comes in 18-1, incredible champion. He has defended the belt time and time again. He is a very calculated, probably the most calculated fighter I have ever seen before. He does not take risks. He does everything by the book, and he continues to show us why he deserves to be champion. Jorge Masvidal comes in with a lot hotter of a head, if you will. He comes in as the guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. He comes in as the fan favorite, the one that we expect to be the underdog. He has the underdog mentality, and he probably comes into this fight trying to take over early and often. I expect Jorge Masvidal to come out right from the jump and really try to set the tone against Usman and really finish this fight early on. When I take a look at the two of these fighters, though, I take a look at what they've been able to do in their careers, and most of their wins have come by knockout. Almost half of their fights by both of these guys have come from knockouts, and their other half from decision. This is going to be a boxing match through and through. There's not going to be a whole lot of grappling, not a whole lot of wrestling involved. It's going to be stand up. Whoever has the stronger chin will win. And at this point, I believe that there's a lot to talk about with both of these fighters when it comes to their boxing skills. But I want to take a look at what our friends over at DraftKings really have to say about this fight. And I take a look at Kamaru Usman coming in at a minus 475. This guy is the clear cut favorite, according to Las Vegas. Taking a look at Jorge Masvidal, he is a plus 335 underdog, meaning if he ends up winning on a $10 bet, you will make $30. You're going to triple your money when you go with Jorge Masvidal. So if you feel confident about Jorge Masvidal and what he's going to be able to do, definitely put your money on him. If you want to be safe and make just a couple extra bucks, Kamaru Usman is your safe bet. He's your way to go here. Otherwise, if you're not comfortable betting on Jorge Masvidal and you don't want to risk a couple bucks just for a couple bucks, I would not bet on this fight at all. I believe that Kamaru Usman comes in as too much of a favorite to really make much money unless you're betting on Jorge Masvidal to upset him.
So the way I see this playing out is very similar to the first time we saw these two in the octagon. I think it's going to be a slow start. They're going to feel each other out. They're going to try to test each other's weaknesses as far as what they see as weaknesses. And I think that as much as you say it's going to be on their feet, they both know how skilled they both are on their feet. They're going to try to see how well they are on the ground. Masvidal is obviously going to have a much easier time with boxing, but Usman is going to continue to try to work his takedowns, try to get him to the ground. Masvidal had some great takedown defense in that first fight, and that's why he was getting stuffed up against that cage so much. I think Masvidal is going to have the same approach. He's going to come in with the same intensity, but Usman's going to work on different, unique ways of taking him down other than just going for a straight shoot, straight double leg takedown. He's going to be very creative with his takedown attempts, and I think that once he's on the ground, that's when Usman really strikes. That's when he's in his comfort zone, and that's where it's all going to fall apart for Masvidal. But I do see this going the distance. I do see this going to a decision, and I do see Usman being named the unanimous winner.
Yeah, when I take a look at the statistics of these two fighters, one thing that jumps out at me, and it was shocking to me when I was taking a look. Kamaru Usman has 100% takedown defense, meaning that he has never in his professional career been brought to the ground by his opposing fighter. That's absolutely incredible. When you're talking about 19 professional fights, a current champion that has defended his belt on multiple occasions, you're talking about a guy who has never been brought down to the canvas against his will. I think that's going to speak volumes here. And Jorge Masvidal knows he's not going to really be able to bring Usman down. It's going to have to be standing up. If Masvidal has a chance, it has to be on his feet. I think that Kamaru Usman, at the end of the day, will do whatever it takes to win. Like I said, he is the most calculated fighter, arguably the most calculated human I've ever come across. And I think at the end of the day, Kamaru Usman will win by decision. All right, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.